hang on. Okay, perfect. Okay, so I wanted to start off by saying that my videos are very, very not in order when I post them, and so, but this one I wanted to go ahead and talk about my mother-in-law from hell. Whew. Let me go ahead and I just want to share this stuff that I experienced with this lady because I just think that maybe there's somebody else that's going through the same thing, somebody else who is experiencing the same things, or just want to let it all out. Might as well. I'm getting a divorce, right? Don't speak to them, but that's a whole nother story for a whole nother time. So let me start off with I met my mother-in-law 5 years ago today. When I first met her, she was the sweetest person that I can never known to man. I came from a family who is very not family oriented. So when I had my mother-in-law, it's like she was just this breath of fresh air. I mean, she literally like took me in under her wing. She treated me like her child. At that time, I was, I just moved out the house and I really didn't have a place to stay, and without question, oh, you can stay here with us, my husband and me were dating at the time, and, we were like, oh, I was like, oh, okay, I had my own room. I was very, very okay with that. So then, let's see, she was great. We used to make my plate. I mean, it was stuff that my parents never did. My parents never made my plate. They never, tucked me in at night. I'm just kidding. She didn't tuck me in, but she was damn near close to it. She would come in there, okay, just wanted to tell you good night. It was just very, very affectionate. Lots of hugs, lots of kisses. I know I'm grown, but for some reason, I really appreciated that. So all this love and attention was going on. And then, she was great to me. I mean, then I started seeing a lot of things about her that I didn't like at all. She was very, very clingy on me and her son. She would call us and be like, where are you at? Or what street? What road? What by what stop sign? By what intersection? I mean, it was like, what? When are you getting home? Okay, well, if you're over there by McDonald's, it should take you, 2 minutes to get home? I'm like, okay. So she would like do things like that, and at first, I didn't really think anything of it until, she started calling, me and Derek, my husband at the time, would be out and about, and she would be calling him like nonstop. She would probably call him about, it was a lot. I mean, I can't even guesstimate. I mean, she probably called us about 5 times on the hour, and I felt like it was ridiculous. I was like, what's wrong with your mom? I started staying there, going to Derek's room. Sometimes the door would be wide open, but granted, we're grown, I'm like 18, I think. He's like 20. I couldn't have been 18. Let's just roll with that, okay? Because I have to do the math. So she would have us leave the door open, which was okay. I didn't care. It's her house. And she would constantly walk in there, like at least about 10 times. Like she would, D Shay, D Shay, D Shay, constantly calling our name. If you didn't answer your phone, why you didn't answer your phone, where you at, who, what, when, where, why. She made it seem like she was so perfect and so put together. And she used to always kind of like say stuff about me, like, oh, you need to pay your car note like this, you need to do this like that, and at first I accepted it, until I realized she can't really talk. She became like overly possessive and clingy towards me and my husband. I mean, it got really bad. Like, it got really, really bad. Pretty much damn near pushed us out the house. Well, it did push us out the house. So our safe haven was his grandma's house. We would go over to his grandma's house and chill with her and laugh. We had so much fun over there. His grandma was the bee's knees. I love her, and I still love her to this day. We would go over there and chill and stuff like that. And one day, I don't know what happened. Everything was going really, really good. She was like telling my husband, she was like, Shantora cannot stay here anymore. She got to go. And it was based off of jealousy, I believe, because Derek paid me a lot of attention. It was a new woman in his life. His mom was no longer number one. So he used to pay me lots of attention, and she told him I need to leave, and he told me about it, and I said, okay, well, I'm leaving tonight. So I wanted to leave, and then Derek, he stood up to his mom and he said, Mom, since you're throwing her out, I'm gonna go with her because I love her. I don't want her to just be on the street. She has nowhere to go. Initially, I would have just probably went back to my parents' house at the time, but I decided that if Derek was leaving with me, we might as well just go to his granny's house. I mean, his granny was open with warm arms for us to come over. I was cool with it. So the behavior with his mom got even worse. So she started coming over to his granny's house, taking pictures of the room that we were in. She started like making our plates. But this time, it's like she'll make our plates and bring them and put my name on it and Derek's name on it. Like, Shantora, don't let anybody eat your food. You eat your food. And Derek, you eat that food. That's why I put your names on it. Look at the plate. It looks exactly the same. The first thing that comes up in my mind is because my uncle, he was a police officer. He's always telling me about mothers like that. And he always said, don't trust people's cooking, especially when they have issues with you. So she started making my plate separate than Derek's. And then she started getting really pissed off. Like, don't open chairs out for her. You need to do that for me. Don't open doors for her. Open them for me. Don't make her plates. Make mine. Don't cook for her. Cook for me. And it started becoming like a jealousy thing. So I kind of backed off a little bit. So I was like, okay, whatever. Make her plate, Derek. Make her happy. Whatever. I can make my plate. I'm grown. So then it became this thing where I'm telling you, so much stuff that happened with this lady. Okay. So then, me and Derek, we were really in love, and his granny really pushed us to get married at that time. And I felt like, might as well. I don't want to keep shacking up. I love him and I want to be with him, So we got married. His mom ended up having an issue with it. She's like, Derek, I'm going to cancel you from this, that. She stopped talking to him completely for about a month. And we were okay with that for a little bit. But anyway, so she came back, started talking to him, and it became even worse. She started staring at me in my face. I'll be like right here. We'll be sitting next to each other having a conversation. She would turn and stare at me. Like, just stare at me. It's like she was just out of it. Like, she was just gone. And she would go to his grandma's house, take pictures of the room. And she told me, she was like, I'm going to send these pictures to your mother. And I'm like, we're grown. What is my mom going to do? Okay. I was like, send them to my mom then, sweetie. So then she screams at me, and she's like, you are very disrespectful. Very disrespectful, and whatever. I took that. I keep hearing stuff. So, I accepted it. And then, shortly after that, Derek was like, you don't talk to my mom that way, Shantora. And I was like, all I said was, do it then. If you're going to take pictures of the room and send them to her, then do it. That's all I said. I didn't feel like I was being disrespectful or out of line. Give me one. I'm trying to figure out what's going on over here. 1 second. Okay, never mind. It's not working. I thought that it would work, but it's not working. Okay. We are limited on time because it's starting to get really dark. And there's usually lights that come on out here, but I can't figure them out. Maybe they're dead. I don't know. So, what else happened was she started making my plate. She started staring at me. One time I seen her over the bed that I was in. I was just asleep one day. She's staring over the bed, and I'm like, Miss Pam, that's what I call her. And she made no, she didn't change her mood or anything. And she was just, like, it was scary. It was like the exorcism. I was like, Miss Pam. I started freaking out because I was like, why is she, And then she just goes, I was just checking on you. and walks out. And I was like, oh my God, you know. She started staring at me. She started looking like me. Like I would wear certain things. She would, okay, let me buy that. You know, I started getting my hair a certain way. She was like, oh, I'm gonna do that. It was like she was jealous of her son. I don't really know. I don't know if it was me or her son. She scared the bejeebers out of me. Oh my goodness. I mean, she used to say so many rude things to me as well. She even told me, she was like, Shantora, one day the baby's gonna pay for Derek's sins. You know, when I got pregnant. And I was like, what the fuck did you mean by that? I let it go gradually. It was lots of like, you know, digs here and there, you know. And Derek was like, oh, that's just how my mom is. I was like, your mom wants to kill me, probably. I don't know what the hell her issue is, but she's staring at me. You know, she's trying to make my plates. I wasn't eating it though. She was just really possessive over Derek, you know, calling him all the time, like, oh, well, you answer Shay's calls, you don't answer my calls. And it's just kind of like, it was too much. It became too much. And I'm telling you, I'm so happy I don't have to deal with that mother-in-law anymore. Oh, I'm so happy. It's like a relief. It's just gone, you know. I don't have to be worried anymore about this situation. But it was crazy. It was so crazy. It was like, my baby's gonna pay for the sins. Like, she was just really creepy. She would like just try to stalk us, and she had GPSs on our phones. Yeah, GPSs. She knew exactly where we were going. The way that I found out was one day she goes, let me, what did she say? She calls us and she goes, Derek was like, yeah, we're just out, Mom. You know, she didn't tell her where. And she goes, why do y'all always go to Wingstop off of blah blah blah? And we're like, he goes, Mom, how do you know we always go there? And she was like, no reason, you know. And it's like she just kind of changed the subject. But I found out because every time I was going somewhere, she always knew. Every time I was somewhere, either separate from my husband or just somewhere that we didn't say that we were, she would call and call and call and call. It was so crazy. I'm telling you, this lady was completely insane and a complete nut job. I remember, you know, the first time when I seen her after what happened, you know, I went in there, I said, hey, Miss Pam, you know, and she just looks and she goes, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, is this lady okay? I never did anything to make this lady feel this way except love her son and be there for him, and he did the same for me. So it was just kind of like, are you really tripping for no reason, you know? I mean, there's so much to the story. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. It was like, you know, it almost seemed like she put life insurance on my child without telling me, and I found out because I found some mail of hers. She, just all types of weird stuff. She had life insurance on me, life insurance on Derek. I mean, she was really trying to do something. I don't know what it was, but I'm happy that I got away from her, and now her and her son can go and live in harmony without me and my daughter in the mix. It almost felt like she didn't like my daughter very much. You know, there's 2 incidents that happened with my daughter. One where Derek abused me, put his hands on me, and had a gun in our faces, me and my daughter. And she never once called and checked up on us when we left him. Or, you know, he left us in the apartment. We left shortly after that. And then my daughter gets sexually assaulted. And it was Derek's dad, which is why me and him don't talk at all anymore. And she never called, never checked in on my daughter. So this motherfucking bitch, this bitch probably was behind the whole shit. I asked my daughter, I said, you know, what happened? She told me what happened. And then she told me, well, Nana Poo was there too when Pawpaw did that. What? These people are a nut job. I'm so happy that we're getting a divorce, and I'm so happy that I'm like not with him, not on speaking terms, that they have multiple police cases against them. At this point, I'm completely done, and I feel like I'm so happy that this stuff was found out earlier, sooner than later. Anyways, this is just my stepmother from hell. I mean, she's completely insane. I mean, there's so much more to the story. I wish I should have wrote them all down and then like said it. Cause now I'm like, I'm probably gonna go back and like remember something, you know, cause these are just from my memories, you know. I'm probably gonna go back tonight and be like, oh my god, this happened and this happened. I'm like, shit, why didn't I fucking say that at first? But there's so much more to the story. I mean, I'm gonna write a book about this. It's gonna be called My Mother-in-Law from Hell. Look for it. And it's gonna be the perspective of the mother-in-law. Then it's gonna be the perspective. Then I'm gonna have one, My Mother-in-Law from Hell, sequel 2, and it's gonna be the perspective of me. And yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and end it for today. Have a good day. Keep it positive. And be careful with mother-in-laws. Be very, very careful. Before you marry into the family, know the family. Goodbye. You can't see me anymore. It's getting dark. So, y'all have a nice night.